Good evening, everyone. It's Josh from Pokejacks. Sorry, I haven't been on here on YouTube for the last couple of days. Been busy with the military stuff. Got sick, handling the business, all that stuff going on. I apologize, but I'm here. I'm alive. Nothing crazy. Hopefully, November will be a good month. I did get a pretty good email from distribution about some future possible Pokemon allocations. I'm hoping maybe a couple things of Phantasmal Flames. I can get that offered out to y'all. So hopefully, I'd love to get you guys some more items at MSRP. That'd be great. But kind of like the grand scheme of things, having distribution, definitely been buying a lot of binders and ETB acrylics, top loaders, top load binders, play mats, whatever I can get my hands on. I put on the website. Typically it's at distribution price a little bit less, but still building that spin credit to get more allocations of the Pokemon TCG. I would say I've spent about $5,000 on distribution in the last month. That's not all in total, but I believe it's gonna pan out. But yeah, besides that, just it's been busy. Sales are going. Typically when I get things in, they go out. Jacksonville, here in Florida, it's been a huge support system. They're trying to help me out, and I do appreciate that support to get bigger. And people believe in the MSRP stuff, and stuff I do sell on my site that is typically above MSRP. It's like 90%, 85% at market. And, even sometimes I throw stuff in with free shipping. So, I'm still making a small gain, but that small gain goes back into distribution. Very little money goes into my pocket. Actually, none. I mean, I do use some of it for my card restoration side of the house, buying, new material and equipment, testing things out all the time, improve the art. But, yeah, sorry for the voice. Yeah, like I said, I'm still trying to get over this cold, but, yeah, still trucking along, trying to keep this thing rolling. Appreciate the support. Still want to get, items at MSRP for y'all. I see it on my distro website. I do all the pre-orders, see what happens. I did another pre-order for the new Weiss set coming out. And then I do have a case of Mega Dream from Japan. That's going to be here December, I would say 4th or 5th. Typically when it comes out, you can get it early release or at release. It's just, to me, the price is too high. And, factor in the tariff, shipping, and I just don't like super charging, for items. It's just not the person I am. So, this is meant to be fun. It's a hobby. Yes, it is a business, but at the same time, trying to bring joy to everybody the best way I can is like the best way I can describe it. But it is a grind. Gotta feed distro. You got to make sure you have cash available. I buy stuff as soon as I get paid through my website. I set taxes aside a little extra, because when you do all the taxes for state of Florida, just make sure you count in. There have been some sales out of state as well. I haven't crossed those nexus yet, so I don't necessarily worry about the sales tax there. But yeah, just keep on building. And keep on trucking along. It's been a good ride. Blessed to have distro. I don't have a huge social media following. I don't have much of that. But I grinded a lot with Japanese booster boxes and Korean booster boxes, and I presented a good presentation, and luckily distribution took me on. I'm blessed for that. Hopefully for social media, I'll get there. I'm not the greatest at it. It's not my thing. I'm an engineer by trade. Electricity, ACs, diesel engines, gas turbine, steam, you name it. That's my game. So, getting better. with social media and content with that. So I'll continue to get better at that. But yeah, I appreciate the support as we continue to grow. Just want to get stuff out there to y'all at a fair price, and keep the hobby fun. That's the ultimate goal. So y'all have a great night, happy hump day, and I'll be chatting with y'all again soon.